Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to play with some new products from Unearthly Cosmetics. I got their new Dead of Night palette. I also picked up their matte liquid lipsticks that they relaunched, and then I also picked up some of their new shades in the satin lipsticks that they have. So I'm going to do lip swatches, palette swatches, create a couple looks, and let you know my thoughts on these products. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree, and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Alright, welcome guys. It is probably New Year's by the time you're seeing this, so happy New Year's to all of you. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and started the year off right. But very excited to play with these products. It took forever for these things to get to me. Unearthly Cosmetics is having serious shipping delays. I think these things I ordered back in November and it took over a month to receive them. I know that they were like struggling to keep up with orders and then they shut down their website. I know that the brand is just going through some growing pains. They're getting a lot of hype, a lot of attention, and I think with that, from being a small brand and getting such a larger audience, it takes a lot of work to get up to par to meet, you know, the demand of the audience. So hopefully it gets better. But let's get into all these products, and then I will probably create 2 looks with the palette and use, you know, 2 of the Lippies in each of the looks. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with the Satin liquid lipsticks. They came out with new shades. I don't know how many new ones they had, maybe like 7, but I picked up 4 of them and they go for $15 each. But the ones that I got, which I'll show you the packaging and everything, I have the shade called Danielle, and I'll have lip swatches pop up of me like with the product on my lips so you can see the color. But isn't this cute with like the little globe? So adorable. I love the packaging. And then I got the shade called Amber. I just love that they extended the range because this is one of my favorite lip formulas of like all time. So I'm just glad that they introduced more colors. This one, like I said, is called Amber. This one looks like a nice warm, like orangey one. And then I have the shade called Aura. This one kind of looks like an orangey shade as well. I love these kind of tones. And then the last one I picked up is called Giana. This one looks like a peachy nude. Oh, gorgeous. I know eventually I'll go and pick up the other colors because I just adore this formula. And then I picked up some of their new like matte liquid lipsticks. I think for a while they were gone and then they finally brought it back. I'm not sure if it's a new formula or one that they had before. But let's see what the packaging is like on their matte liquid lipstick. So they're a little bit more simple. They don't have like the little globe thing on the top, but this one is called Grim, which looks like a kind of cool tone, maybe purplish lippy. And I love matte liquid lipstick, so I'm excited to see what their kind of formula is. Is it a little bit more drying, a little bit more comfortable? But we are about to find out. This one is called Fatal, which looks like a warm orangey shade. And then I have this shade called Strange, fitting for me. Oh yes, I got their matte liquid lipstick in black. Yes, I really needed a matte liquid lipstick in black, so I'm excited to see what this is like because I have their black satin version, but I wanted a matte one as well. I got Pumpkin, of course, typical. I would get a shade like this. And I think maybe these go for $15 as well. They're currently not on their website, so I don't know what the actual like set price is for these. And then I have the shade called Chilling, another like cool tone grayish nude. And I have, I think, one more, and then we'll get to the palette, the exciting stuff. This shade is called Cruel. This is a beautiful cool tone pinky shade. Oh, I like all the tones that I picked up. So those are all the Lippies that I picked up. So now let's get into the palette, the part I'm most excited for. So they did come out with 2 new eyeshadow palettes. One was called On the Grind. I didn't pick that one up because it has like a lot of oranges in it and I don't tend to wear those kind of colors, but I'm sure in the future I'll end up picking it up. But I picked up the Dead of Night one, and this is supposed to be an extension to their In the Dark palette, just like a bigger version, and these colors are supposed to complement that palette, which I also have. Here's the In the Dark palette. You see how like the packaging is very similar on both of them? So I'm excited because the colors in here are so pretty. So there's the packaging, has the ingredients and info on the back, and then inside, whew, I'm excited. Look at this. There's a big mirror, and then there's these beautiful like blues, greens, and purples, these jewel tones. This one has 4 metallics and the rest are matte. So a good little ratio. If you're a matte lover, you'll probably appreciate that there's more mattes in here. But I think it's just so pretty. The setup, the tones. And I feel like the palette overall leans on the darker side. I don't know if any of them could truly be like an inner corner highlight for me, but we'll have to see. If not, I could always use a highlighter as an inner corner highlight. But I'll show you how it goes with the In the Dark palette. Like how they complement each other. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see these working very well together. This one has a little bit like murky tones in there, some more grays. But yeah, I can see these pairing very nicely together. So I can see how this is an extension to this one. But that was all the products, all the info and everything. I'm really excited to see how this will perform and see if it's the usual good formula from Unearthly and try out, you know, some of these Lippies in the look. So I think we should just jump right into it. So let's prime the eyes. So I'm going to go into the Glam Light Icing Eyeshadow Base in Buttercream, just to get a nice good canvas for these shadows. And I'm just gonna blend that out quickly. So let's get into the palette now. I think I wanna do like a blue purple kind of halo eye. So I'm gonna start off with the shade called Dimness, this purple matte. And I'm going to get that through the crease. Just gonna stamp it on, work slowly, because these kind of shades you don't want to just swipe around or it can get weird and patchy. And Unearthly has a really nice like pigmented matte formula, so you just want to work slow, and then we'll get one of the lighter shades to blend out the edge. So now that we got that shade down, I want to take the shade called Misty, this lighter purple, and I'm going to use that to softly diffuse the edge of that deeper purple, just to, you know, get things a little bit diffused. It's always good to go in with like a lighter version of the shade, just so you can get like a nice gradient and a nice blend with your shadows. So now I want to take the shade called Bedtime, this deeper kind of navy blue. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off with color switch. And I'm going to use that on the outer and inner corner so we can start creating the halo eye effect. So I'm just going to stamp it in front here. So I'm just concentrating that on the outer and inner corner. Not necessarily being super precise, because I'll probably go in with some concealer in the center or maybe some glitter primer, something like that, before I put any metallics down. Now I'm going to do the lower lash line. I'm going to go back into that dimness of the deep purple matte and just get everything down here as well. I'll probably take some of the deep blue down here as well. So now let's get into some glitter primers to carve out the center. I'm going to use the Unearthly Cosmetics Glimmer Grasp. It's a really nice glitter primer. I've used it many times. I think it does a really good job at like gripping to shimmers. So I'm just going to use it like how I would use if I was going in with like a concealer and just create the shape. So I definitely want to use the Dead of Night shade, this deep navy blue metallic. I'm picking it up on the same brush that I used the glitter primer. And I'm just gonna put it on the edges closest to where the deep blue is, the deep blue matte. So now I'm gonna take the shade Star and I'm gonna use that in the center. This one looks like a fuchsia to maybe blue shifty shade. Maybe it is also a duochrome. I'm gonna put that right in the center as my nice little bright center shade, my little highlight shade. So I'm gonna see if I can get away with Misty as my inner corner highlight. I'm gonna try my best. It might be too dark, but we're gonna give it a try and see how it does. So I'm gonna use that all in the inner portion just to maybe add a little bit of pop of lightness to this look. It might be a little too dark, but I'm just gonna let it be. You know, I don't necessarily have to have a super light shade there, even though that's my preference. But I can always go over the shade with some highlighter. I don't necessarily need a light metallic or light matte in my palette. It's more of a preference. Like, I like having that option, but if it's not there, I have a lot of things in my makeup collection that I can pull instead. I am gonna go into the Warm Is My Blood palette from Unearthly, and I'm gonna use the Stone shade, the white matte, just to lighten up the shade. That's why I love white mattes. You can use that to, you know, lighten any matte in a palette. So I'm just gonna put that over just to make it a little bit more lighter, a little bit more pastel, and more my liking. So that is it for the shadows that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to go into one of the Lippies. I'm going to take the shade Grim, which is a very cool tone grayish purple shade, which I think is going to fit really nicely with this look. But let's put that on. I don't even think I'm going to go in with a lip liner. Do I need a lip liner? No, I just want to see how the color is on its own. Ooh, that is like a deep purpley gray. Okay, let's get that all on. Oh, it's going so well with this very light cool tone smoky purple look I have on. So there's my lippy. What do you guys think of this color? It looks really pretty with this eye look. It's on the deeper side. It's a very deep purpley gray shade, and it looks deeper on the lips than it does in the tube. Like, to me, it looks lighter in the tube, doesn't it? But you know what? It's fine. I like deep lippies, and I do like the formula so far. It's very opaque. Like, one swipe, I was able to fully cover my lips. It does feel like it fully dried down already, but it feels comfortable. Like, it doesn't feel very drying. Yeah, it's pretty much transfer proof. So I am now going to go off camera, do my like lashes, liner, mascara, all that good stuff. And then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back. Here's the completed look. What do you guys think of this? I know it's on the darker, more like sultry side, but this palette is leaning a lot more dark. So I feel like most of the looks I'm gonna get out of here are very dark, leaning, smoky looks like this, but that is fine. It's some of my like favorite kind of colors to wear on my eyes, but I think it came out really pretty and it was easy to put together. But all I did off camera was I went in with the LA Girl Jet Setter liquid eyeliner to create a wing. I did use a little bit of the Kiss Lash Glue liner and stuck on the Kiss So Wispy lashes. I did also use my favorite Beauty For Real High Def mascara. And for my waterline, I took this white liner from Udin's Eye. This is the number 11 shade, just to brighten up my waterline, just to like, you know, lighten things up since everything is on the darker side for this eye look. And that is all I did to complete this look. I'm very happy. I feel like so far it seems to be the usual like good formula from Unearthly, but I do want to go into one more look with this palette. So let's get into look number 2. So I want to start off with Gloom. I don't normally go into like matte grays like this, but every now and then I think they do a lot for a look, especially if you're wanting to do something a little bit more cool tone. So I'm gonna start with that through the crease, and it definitely looks darker on the lids than it looks in the pan. Like, doesn't it look darker on the lid? I feel like overall this palette is just a lot darker, but you know, it's called Dead of Night, so it makes sense. But I want to use this as just my initial transition, and I'm just gonna get it nice and diffused all through my crease. Now I want to get into this shade called Merc. And by the way, I do have the Glam Light Primer on again, if you're wondering. And I'm going to take this Rephr brush and I'm going to concentrate this on the outer corner as my deepening shade. It's a very cool toned green, like deep forest cool toned green. And I want to concentrate that just on this outer corner. I'll bring it into the crease as well. So I think I'm gonna start off with the shimmer shades, and then I'll figure out what I want to do on the lower lash line. So I'm just gonna go on with this big shader brush, and I'm going to start off with Forest. And I think this time I'm just going to wet the brush and see how the metallics perform that way. It does pick up a lot. Like, I can't believe how big this brush is, but we're gonna use it, and I'm gonna spray it. I think this was meant to be a concealer brush, but that's the fun thing about brushes. You can use them anyway. So I'm gonna concentrate that closest to where we have the deeper like shade on the outer corner, because I'm gonna go in with something different in the inner portion. But this is a pretty green, and it goes well, you know, with this green deeper shade on the outer corner. And now I want to use the shade called Nightfall, this beautiful gray metallic. And I'm going to use that in the inner portion. And I'm also going to spray it with some water, just so we can enhance that shade. And I'm just going to step it right there in the front. Ooh, that looks pretty with the green and like the gray through the crease. Ooh, yeah, that's really pretty. I love silvery shades with like cool tone greens. Now I want to do my lower lash line. I'm going to take this brush right here, and I think I want to use Garden on the bottom. I think it's going to mesh well with the look, and I'll probably use Merc on the outer corner just to, you know, bring in some more green. I feel like it will tie in nicely with that green metallic that's on the lid. And I don't know, I like mixing different greens together. I think it looks cool. So I'm going to try to wrap the gray in the inner portion. I know it's going to be too dark, but I would just top it over with like a lighter silver on top. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm just trying to stick mainly to this palette as best as possible. But I'm just going to put a little bit there, and then I'll top something lighter over that shade, because there's not anything light to work with in this palette. And then I think maybe I can go into the other palette, the one that's supposed to, you know, go well with it, in the dark palette. And maybe I can top a little bit of Luminous on top of that. I think that will definitely help lighten up the inner corner some more. I think this one has either a purple or bluey tone to it. But over the gray, I think it's just going to help it look like a lighter kind of silver shade. Because I didn't want to have like a blue inner corner. So I think that works the best. Alright, so that is it for the shadows that I'm going to use on my lids. Now let's get into one of these Lippies. So I'm going to go into one of the satin ones instead. This is Danielle. It's one of the new shades in their lineup. And I think this is going to work. It's like a brownie shade. Looks like it leans on the cool tone side. And I'm not even going to use lip liner just so I can see the color on its own. I do have a little bit of lip balm on, but I'm just going to put that on. Wow, that is a nice deep brown shade. Some of my favorite colors to wear. I think this is beautiful. It's like a deep brown with like a reddish kind of undertone to it. But I think it actually pairs really nicely with this greeny look that I have on. It's nice and dark. I mean, I think I picked some dark lippies from this lineup. So now I'm going to go and finish off my eye look, do lashes, mascara, all that good stuff. And then I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. I think this one is my favorite, but I just love my greens and I love cool tones. I love brown lippies. Like, the whole combo is making me so happy. And I didn't do much off camera. I didn't put any falsies on this time. I just used mascara. All I used off camera was I went in with the LA Girl Jet Setter liquid eyeliner and created this very long wing. It got a little out of hand, but sometimes that happens. And then for my waterline, I went in with this Kaleidos liner, one of their like multi-chrome liners in Limelight. I just thought it was so pretty with like the green down here, and it shifts, I think, to purple and blue. Like, these are so good. You see it? It picks up so well in the waterline, and it definitely shows, and you can see like the shift if you look at it. It's so pretty. It mainly shows green with this look, so I thought it paired really nicely with the green that I have on the lower lash line. And then for some tight lining, I just went in with this Nabla Cupid's Arrow Stylo in number 4. just to add some black to the top part. And then for my lashes, I am wearing my favorite mascara, which is the Beauty For Real High Def Mascara that I tried this year, and I'm still in love. I picked up 2 more from Walmart. I can't wait to get them in the mail because that one's starting to dry out, but it still did the trick. Like, look at my lashes. I feel like they look pretty dramatic, and I don't feel like I need a falsie since this mascara is so good. But this is all I did for this look. I love this. This is so pretty. I think this palette is really nice. So I think I'm now ready to zoom out and give you guys like my final first impressions on this palette. Okay, love, so another hit with Unearthly Cosmetics, but I knew I was going to probably like these products because I'm very familiar with the brand. I've pretty much tried most of their products. There's a few things that I haven't tried in their lineup, but everything that I have tried has been super, super amazing. I think the matte liquid lipsticks seem very nice. They don't seem too overly drying. They're nice and pigment. I was able to just go on with one swipe, and I feel like they, you know, really lasted well, that they were like pretty transfer proof. Now I'll have to wear them longer and test out the different shades and see how they wear over time, if they start to break up or if they do start feeling drying, because you know, you never know with matte liquid lipsticks. They can start off good and then end really badly, but I have high hopes for the formula. I think it seems nice. It kind of reminds me of the liquid lipsticks from Give Me Glow, like the same kind of comfort level and opacity and like how transfer proof it is. And then the satin liquid lipsticks, like the new shades that I picked up, seem like the usual formula from all the other ones. It's so comfortable. It's so richly pigmented. They just glide on the lips so effortlessly. And even though they're not transfer proof, they do fade very gracefully and last pretty well on the lips. I love the banana candy smell. I love that they extended the range. It is probably like one of my most favorite lip formulas in my collection because they're just so good and so satiny and so comfortable, and that's usually my go-to. Every now and then, of course, I like to wear matte liquid lipsticks, but most of the time I have some kind of like lip cream or satin lippy like this. So those are beautiful. I love this color, and I think the palette is really nice too. It's the usual formula from Unearthly, but I wasn't expecting it to be any different. The mattes are beautifully pigmented like usual. You can build them up, you can blend them out. Nothing like was patchy. All of them laid very well on each other, and I think they did such a good job with these kind of colors because these kind of like shades tend to be hard to formulate. They can be patchy. A lot of brands usually struggle to get these kind of tones right, and Unearthly of course did an amazing job at getting the formula to be really good on these. And I think the metallics are nice and smooth. They're sparkly. I think some of them have like shifty dual chrome vibes going on, like these two. They're so gorgeous. I love this silvery metallic as well. I mean, I love all the shades in here. I think they all complement each other very well. I can see a bunch of different looks I could do with this. Now, the only thing with this palette is it leans on the dark side. There's not really any light shades to use as an inner corner highlight or to brighten up the brow bone or to be like a really light contrast on the lids versus the matte. So just know that if you need a palette to have some lighter shades, you might not like this, but you could easily pull lighter shades from other palettes to break it up or go in with like your highlighter in like the inner corner or the brow bone. Like that's what I tend to do. I don't feel like a palette needs to have all of the shades in it. It doesn't have to have like all the deep, all the lights, and like everything to make a completed look. I'm fine using this with other palettes, but just know that, I mean, this is a dark palette. It's called Dead of the Night for a reason. It was meant to be on that darker tone side because even the lighter shades are almost more like mid-tones. They're not like pastels or anything that could be an inner corner highlight, but it's totally fine. I love these kind of shades, but I just want you to know that if you need a palette to be like completed and have all the shades because you only like to go into one palette at a time, then you might not like this because it is on the dark side. So that was just my thoughts on all the products, the looks that I was able to come up with, the lip swatches, the palette swatches. I really enjoyed this video, and I always have a good time using Unearthly Cosmetics products, but you guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you try any of these products? Did you pick up this palette? Like, what are your thoughts? I know a lot of people are not so happy with Unearthly Cosmetics with like the whole shipping delays, and then they keep coming out with new stuff, but you're still waiting for the older stuff to come in. So hopefully they're getting that figured out and getting better with their shipping, you know, hiring some more people and getting through these growing pains. Anyways, if you are new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot of stuff in indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I'd love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I'll have all the products linked where you can find them. I'll have other Unearthly Cosmetics reviews and videos that I've done. I have a lot on my channel. I'll leave the playlist if you want to check out more from this brand. I also have my face makeup, foundation, all that, in case you're curious on what is on my face. That will always be a link below, and I will also have my contact and my social media platforms. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty, and I do post different content there as well. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting my channel. I hope you guys had a wonderful new year, and I'm just so excited to see what 2023 will bring. But just sending you guys all so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.